So yeah, what I was saying before is that you just get on your knees and you just suck my fucking dick. And oh shit, we're rolling. Oh, hello everybody! Welcome to a podcast Orange. My name is Jack Siegel with my co-host Tom Crescenzo.
What up, yo? How's it going, guys? And Jack, I wanted you to finish what you were saying before about sucking your dick. I was listening pretty intently.
We just got new interns.
I'm trying to take notes, and you interrupt it with the start of the show. I mean, come on, dude. How am I supposed to do a good job?
I'm just teaching everybody how to be a good boss. So I'm harassing these interns.
I'm teaching everybody how to be a good casting director.
Cast and couch. Speaking of good bosses, we got Dom LaMarca here.
Welcome, Dom. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Comedian, Long Island.
Extraordinaire.
One of the new interns.
Spiritual entity, one of the new interns.
I'm just lying. We don't actually have interns.
Yeah, we don't have money.
We don't even have employees. We would have to have employees before we get interns.
We would have to have a fan base before we got anything.
Yeah, we don't have enough fans.
I feel like we have more fans than no offense, guilty pleasures. You know, Brandon's fucking got big balls. He's on here last week. He's like, you guys are not a real podcast. You're on Spotify. Oh, yeah. And then
dude, y'all aren't on Spotify.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this. I see
that's a bullshit.
I don't know how many downloads Brandon gets, but he claims he's like, yeah, it's all 6 people I have listening. I know for a fact we have at least 20. So suck a dick, Brandon.
Yeah,
we have 27 subscribers, bitch.
Yeah, and it's growing. Okay. It was 23 the other day. Anyway.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like that's where, like...
No, we need to get on Spotify.
No, but maybe that's why you guys have as many as you do, because there's a level of commitment that it takes to go and watch a fucking YouTube podcast.
Especially, like, an hour-long one with no video. Yeah, because... Thank you, everybody.
Or also, one thing that probably helped, too, is that the iPhones, you got the little bubble now, so, like, you can kind of have shit playing and do all this stuff,
You can't, like...
Actually, it might not work.
You still can't X out of YouTube on an iPhone. What you can do on an iPhone is if you're watching a video on YouTube, you can leave that video and search for another video and have that video still playing in the bottom. But if you close the YouTube app on an iPhone, it doesn't work. Okay. But on Androids, you can do whatever the fuck you want. So I guess I like to think most of our listeners are Android user pedophiles. Just being realistic. Not saying that's what I want. I'm just being realistic.
Are you trying to say that people that use Androids are pedophiles?
No, I'm trying to make inferences about our fans.
Well, they might. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. You guys are probably amazing.
Probably normal, well-adjusted people, except some of them.
Oh,
4 people out of
like
out of all the people that listen to Joe Rogan. Sorry, what were you saying?
I feel like that your guys' fan base wouldn't be like pedophiles, like straight pedophiles. They'd be like classy pedophiles, like child porn pedophiles, not go out and fuck kids.
You mean like we're not just gonna fuck kids, we're making like money off this, okay?
I work a 9 to 5. I can't just go out and bang Timmy on the playground.
It's like, listen, this isn't just
about... trying to run a business here.
This isn't just about fucking kids. This is about the game, alright? This is about getting respect in the game.
I'm the fucking king.
I'm the king. What's that guy?
Scorsese's gonna make a movie about me. I just like, he was the king fucking child.
He was the king of pedophiles, and it's like Robert De Niro. They like use CG to make him look even older.
So it's like the king of pedophiles, and the only show he listened to was Podcast
That would be a good show. Like Kevin Spacey is the king of pedophiles. That would be a good like comeback route for him.
Yeah, right. It's like a sitcom.
No, I'm thinking like a drama. Like, hey, like he runs a child porn ring. And, I'm just trying to pitch this to HBO.
So you want to romanticize this?
No.
You want to present it as, like, a powerful thing that you might be envious of?
No, I'm just saying, like, that might be a show. That might be an idea.
They can use it as a way to, like, be like, hey... Like, we're all human.
Listen, whether you fuck kids or not, we're all
Dude, human. Every now and again, you gotta,
Listen, we all come from stars at the end of the day.
We need to find, a word that, just, fits everything into it. Like anything that's, would be, someone would keep secret, fucking kids,
everybody's got skeletons in their closet.
That's actually
skeletons in your closet is the word. The thing is that it's kind of an umbrella term because skeletons in your closet could just mean he cheated on his wife a few times. It's kind of shitty.
Or it could mean you literally have skeletons in your closet.
Yeah, it could mean he has literally... that's true.
You walk in, it's just like a
everything
science.
from the literal sense of the term to anything else. Like, you know...
Hey, you know, my chemistry teacher had skeletons in his closet.
That was very humorous.
Aren't you glad you're on a real podcast now?
That is a fucking solid pun right there.
Pretty good. It's it makes me think of Chris Capel. It's a real Capel vibe to it.
No, it's a Capel the file. Anyway, what is...
Capel's got like craft though. Like that's like he comes up with those puns.
No, Chris is great.
I come up with that. Like I'm not saying like that. I'm saying like the shit I said is like just like some hack shit. Like everyone says humorous is like a skeleton pun. Chris like got the pun formula. Like
yeah. I mean, Chris is like just good at I don't know. He finds puns that I feel like already exist. You know what I mean? They're like good enough to already be on popsicle sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not even like they're all that funny. I'm just impressed, and no matter which one it is, I'm just like you almost laugh at just like you just can't believe that he actually came up with it.
You know what? But it's like it works because the clean material, you do shows with that shit. It's hard to book shows when you're like a dirty comic, because
we're dirty boys.
We are dirty boys.
I've been trying to work on my use of
I'm a dirty boy. I'm sorry.
No,
go on.
I was gonna say that like
I'll be quiet about this.
There's I lost my train. I'm too busy watching Tom jerk.
I'll keep going. You must get. You'll get it.
What did I say?
No, I like.
I'm a great host.
Yeah. Well, what did you
great
say?
Listener. Great.
All right, enough about Chris Capel.
Oh yeah, you're talking about like puns and shit, and you're saying that we were saying that it's easier. I mean, you get more shows
being clean.
Yeah,
okay.
as a clean.
Okay,
there we go. Now we're back on track. We steered this train.
On that myself.
All right,
is this you being the sound guy?
Yeah, well, no, I'm steering the train back on track.
All right, buddy. Settle down. Okay, calm down.
Do some coal in the flames.
All right.
Can we please let our guests speak for more than 30 seconds?
Hey, it's okay. I don't talk much sometimes anyway. But
we love you, bro.
No, I just mean like in general. Like I'm not like that's besides the point. Fucking, I lost it.
Maybe you want to go into that?
Yeah. So I've been trying to be more clean and whatnot, and I heard something one time that Mike Birbiglia said apparently, where whenever you want to like say fuck, kind of like emphasize, like say fuck without saying fuck. Like just pretend it's there and say the word like there's a fuck there, and it'll have the energy. And also, you can write dark jokes that are clean as well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
There's loopholes around there, and like Jim Norton, who's like a really dirty comic. I mean, he was on Letterman many times, and he told like his jokes on like there was the only thing that was missing are the words fucking shit. And honestly, I don't think you need fuck. I honestly believe that like you can write good jokes.
To me, it's not about curses. Yeah, it's never been about curses for me. Like I could give a fuck if I don't have to curse. You know, like if I went to a show and they said absolutely no curses on stage, I could see myself fucking up. But I would be like, yeah, totally fine. Like I don't need to curse. What I'm more about is like people. It's like subject matter. People be like all clean subject matter. Like no dark, no dirty, like no depressing, no sex, no. And that's when it gets tougher for me. Because those are the things I laugh at. You know what I mean?
But I think a lot of shows have at least like a couple of people that do those blue jokes.
That's the thing. It's like instead of going out there and being like I was like this, at least this is what I would picture. You might know more about clean shows than I would, but I would picture it like being like instead of going out there and being like I jerked off or I masturbated, be like, so I was tugging my willy, like you know.
I guess that's clean.
Yeah, like I don't know. That's what I would picture.
It's like, so I was fornicating with a female the other day.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you know it? I couldn't find the pleasure center known as their clitoris medically.
I was shaking hands with Abraham Lincoln. That means masturbated.
Yeah, right. You can say, so I was giving her a Mississippi hot air balloon. That's technically, there's no curses in that. But It does describe something.
That would be an idea. Just make
that's a good point.
Just replace every curse word
See,
with
the thing is,
1940s expression.
It all depends on where you are. Like, clean is different depending on the area. Like if you're in Middle America or the Deep South, clean means a very different thing than like if you're in like Brooklyn Heights or like Williamsburg. You know what I mean? Like if you're in Williamsburg, clean means like, okay, no gay jokes, like no race jokes, like, be
no
PC.
jokes that make me feel uncomfortable.
Right, yeah. But then if you go to like the Deep South, clean means
you're
like,
taking the Bible in the wrong hands, boy.
No. Thank you for personifying this for me, Jack.
I'm acting out your fucking.
I really like having a hype man when I'm making points.
I'm acting out your points for you.
Yeah, you're the best.
I really like having a hype man when I'm making points, but it sounds like you didn't mean it when that should be something you mean. Like you wouldn't want a hype man when you're making.
I'm trying to be entertaining,
No, I mean, thank you. Fucking
trying to add some entertainment.
No, sure. When you make a point, I'll be sure to interrupt you too.
All right, fine. Let's go.
I'm kidding.
Make your fucking point.
No, I appreciate the backtrack. But
I thought it was good.
Yeah, no. When you're in the South, it's like what Jack was impersonating. It's just Christian, no anti-God. Don't joke about like sex, like in general. Like don't be gross. Like.
You can talk about them chocolate fellas, but you can't talk about the Lord like that, You can't take his name in vain, and that's what you gotta do.
Is this a character you're working on?
I feel like that's such
an
interesting line to, like, draw or, like, create, because I feel like at the end of the day, like, people are still people. Like it's like there's always, like, this, narrative of fucking people being, like, mad worried about shit, or, like, might get mad at you for saying a joke, but, like, when you're actually with people, or like even on the stage, people are still just people. They're normally not that bad. So
usually nobody gets offended. Even when I'm really dark, like usually nobody gets
people
offended.
Usually, or they won't. Even if
like
they
concerned.
are,
they're like,
people will look at you and be like, "Geez." Like people will give you those like eyes of like, yeah, you're right, like shock and concern, where they're not even like offended. Like they feel they're just like, my God, like this guy is.
I've
he's
got skeletons in his closet.
I brought a girl to a James Raniolo show. That sounds weird the way I said it.
I brought a girl by force to a James Raniolo show.
Anyway, no, I brought a female companion.
James sounded like a male stripper.
I ran a female.
Oh no! It was a great night. It was going to be James and Magic Mike on the stage.
It was a stripper night. No, I brought a female companion to that show, and I could tell she was like very PC. I could tell she was not digging the jokes at all. Like she just had
your jokes or any jokes.
Any joke. She had She brought we brought friends there, and her friends were like digging the jokes, but she was not. And then I went up there, and I actually killed, because I'm awesome. And then,
Jack does.
All right,
Bergen.
And then, but she was like,
it's just the fucking confidence, the misplaced confidence.
I think it's placed. I mean,
you still sound like Bergen. Yeah, I think it's placed.
Okay, but I feel like Bergen puts in the fucking work with his writing.
Well, he does. Yeah, I mean, we all try to, but yeah, Andrew really writes a lot.
That we don't. Yeah, I know you're
trying to say
it makes me feel like I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I can't speak for y'all. But
well, it depends. Like some days I feel like I'll see him come through with stuff, and it's like me where I'm like, all right, it's just premises. He's working some stuff out. But then other days he comes through with new shit that's so prepared that I'm just like, dude, like, how much time did he spend? Like I feel like I write for an hour after work, and I'm like, okay, time to drink and smoke weed now. I'm tired. Like what I mean, like.
Work takes your energy too, man. Like
it does. Yeah, it takes your creative energy away.
It does. No, it really does. There's
that's like bullshit ass.
Also,
excuse.
because like,
Mister, I don't have a job.
Headspace is a big thing.
You do have a job.
What's your job?
I'm in grad school, motherfucker.
Ooh, okay. Mr. Perfect over here. Go on, Dom.
All right.
I like that. School is work, but you also gotta get your bread too. You gotta have a hustle. You gotta have a.
You're not in grad school. Shut the fuck up. Neither are you. I don't want to hear your fucking
what
perspective.
Like a defensive response.
I'm taking 7 credits this semester, so
oh wow!
Yeah,
you don't want to go. You don't want to go.
I'm not even full
listen,
time.
Man, grad school.
I gotta hustle.
Listen, man, grad school's hard, but you should really like try to still get a job. Why don't you shut the fuck up, bitch? You need a job, pussy. Like,
I'm saying you're not in grad school, right? So, like, you guys don't really know what you're talking about. It's fucking hard, man.
I know it. I know it's hard.
No, dude, no. I'm
my dick is hard.
No, because
right now,
right before the grad school thing, I was literally saying that you need to not work that much if it's taking your energy like that. Like that's what I was gonna say with that shit. But also, bread. Like you ain't got bills.
Yeah, man. Like that's the thing I always wonder is like, do you? Because I understand. Like my parents do cover a lot for me, and I'm thankful. But I still have to pay for a lot of my own shit. Like obviously, like my car insurance and stuff. And I just like how much spending money do you have?
I don't really have.
What's the exact number in your bank account?
I don't really have any spending money.
Social. Dude, that's what I mean. Like, don't you want some spending money?
If you DoorDash for an hour a day.
I don't want to do DoorDash.
Why?
I don't want to talk about this. I don't like this.
You know what? This is it. Let's get
this is my podcast. All right.
It's mine too. And I say we should open it.
I'm saying we
don't have to. We're not going to drag you under. But like, you know. Like, think about it, Jack. You and I always talk about how it sucks how we don't get laid, and like we need to find women. Like, this is the kind of show. That was the podcast about.
That's not. It's just that's not. You're making us sound like complete losers right now on the air. We're not. You're embarrassed. You're just making us sound like the worst, like pathetic losers. Why?
I get, man. Have you listened to some of this shit?
You're gonna go back and listen to the part of this where you're like, you're making us sound like losers. You're gonna be like, fuck, I sound like a loser.
You would sound more dignified if you just went with the.
Oh God, we are.
Listen, my point is this:
for yourself,
it's not that we never get laid. You and I both talk about when we have trouble getting women. Like, what are you gonna do if you get a girl and you want to go on a date with her and you can't even get her dinner? I mean, come on, like. You know, like
I have dinner for her right here, my ball sack.
Okay. That's why you're not getting laid. Ladies, Jack is a catch, guys. Jack is a 10 out of 10. Ladies, if you're looking for a man that'll respect you,
this is the dessert. Actually, the dinner is up.
Dinner's your lips. The dessert's you
You get a chocolate surprise for dessert.
Ladies, if you're looking for a man,
black dick attached to you.
Ladies, if you're looking for a man who will listen to you and understand your feelings, Dom LaMarca most likely, because Jack Siegel's a monster.
Dom will listen to people. He'll listen to your feelings, but Dom's taken.
Dom will open your chakras.
Right? Dom's spoken for. Right?
Yeah, Dom, right?
Is that true?
Yeah, and you like gay sex, right?
Oh, I love it.
Right? And you want to have it now with us, right?
Well, see, that's the problem. Me being taken for is what makes interning here so hard. So I have to come here and suck your dicks, and she can't know about it.
I mean, look, man, you read the contract
until she's making out with you, and she's like, "Why is your lips taste like Jack and Tom's dicks?"
Yeah, right.
But here's
got that joke on the second try.
So this is something that it's weird. Like I listen to this P. Holmes shit, but this has been said on there too. That being a comedian, you're in a three-way basically. You're in a three-way relationship, and comedy is also a part of that relationship too.
Yeah, no, it's very true. I remember having a girl when I was first doing comedy in Florida. I would only do one mic a week, and I did no shows because there was no opportunities.
Yeah, and
it still felt that way. It's like I'm just like, hey, I'm doing comedy tonight. She's like, okay, and it's like
again with the comedy.
Yeah, right.
They gotta like
you gotta have your own life. Man.
She respected it, but it was still just like, you know, it's like, okay, I have school, I have this, and I have her, or it's like I have her, I have a job, and I have this, or it's like I have a job, I have my kid, and this. It's always like comedy's
gotta be the main hoe, bro. Comedy's
gotta be your bottom bitch.
Yeah, no, seriously,
it's true.
When you're having sex, you just gotta be like, trying material out.
Yeah, you're like, so the other day I was on the
gym.
I was on the bus. So, anyways, I was reading this article the other day.
Well, a good girlfriend or wife or whatever will like give you material back when she's having sex. She'll be like, I think you need to change up the punchline, and can you stick it in my asshole now?
Yeah. It's like, honestly, you probably need a tag there. Also, why are you not hard yet?
What did you do for
like run off the bed and go right down your notes, be like, and I stick it in her asshole.
So what did you do for Valentine's Day? Where did you bring her?
We worked together.
Aww, that's kind of cute. Yeah. Like, you're both like, I wish we could be together on Valentine's Day, but we are. We're totally gonna fuck later.
Well, yeah, we hung out and stuff after. We actually they put the hours back to 11 right before Valentine's Day, so we got to go like the bar for like 40 minutes and get food and a couple drinks after. So that was like cool.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, we worked together, and like my manager like asked me like, he's like, are y'all good to like work Valentine's Day? I'm like, I didn't know if you were joking or not, because last night she said that we might be, and he's like, okay, then you guys are working. And I was like, dude, like, okay, like, I'd rather fucking make bread than be spending that bread.
It's true. It's like, why not make the exact amount of money you would lose on a Valentine's date? Like, that's a good point.
Yo, I just started doing this shit, like, this is kind of off topic of Valentine's, but I started doing DoorDash, and
we like to stay on topic here.
But what I've been trying to do is make as much or more money than I spend every day. So, like, I still have my, like, paycheck from the job and whatnot, but I go on DoorDash to kind of just pay myself back for the day, including the gas money as well, man.
That's a good point. I mean, I always think about using it as weed money, because I'm always just like, $100 a week, it's fine. But, like, it'd be nice to just have, like, an extra little pool of money to spend on, like, hookers and stuff.
Shit adds up. I'm about to make a fucking budget for myself, like, for real. Like, I'm about to go on fucking Excel and all that
shit. Podcast finance with
I did Uber Eats. Uber Eats was shit!
Okay.
And,
fired Jack.
I've never seen anybody so mad at Uber Eats.
Did they fire you?
No, I just quit after a few weeks.
What was so bad about it?
They're just fucking retards, man.
What?
Like, if you had a question of like how to do something, you had to like call a number and like have this person
say, "Hey, how do I get here?" To use the GPS
how
retard.
How long ago did you do that? Was that when like they first started? Because like they had to like work out the kinks, like they had to get their little.
I don't know. It was like last year or 2 years ago. No, 2 years ago I worked there, and I thought it was sucked. Nobody tips on Uber Eats. Hey, pay attention.
Sorry.
Hey.
Sorry, this is, where my Dom's asking me for nicotine. I don't have nicotine, I'm sorry. But I do have this. I have the snuff pouches if you need. Sorry, this is addict.
I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to keep my addiction a secret from y'all, and he's just exposed.
Listen, man, like, you don't understand how a fiend works, man. I got you, bro. I got you. I know that feeling, man. I got you, homie. Alright, so what were you saying, Jack?
I don't even. Who gives a shit? It's not like you guys were listening anyway.
No. I was like, the whole time I was like sitting there staring at your face, and my mind was like, find something to smoke down.
I got you. Yeah, no,
I'm fucking with you.
Well, you know what? I hope you all get lung cancer. That's what I.
We get fucking mouth cancer from these.
I mean, whether you hope or not, I got it. That sounds like.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemies. I've had lung cancer.
Yeah, you would wish emphysema on your worst enemies.
I've had stage 4 lung cancer.
Why do you have to say the worst?
What?
She's like, I've had lung cancer, and let me tell you, it's a bummer. It's a real
It really sucks.
You remember when I used to visit you during chemo?
Yeah, I lost all my hair.
Yeah, and then you lost all your weight and never gained it back.
I had to, like, get a wig and everything.
And I would, like, take the needle out your arm and be like, yo, let me get some of that shit. And you're like, I need this to survive. And I'm like, you're being a dick, Jack.
Yeah, man, it's a joke. Stop hogging it.
Stop hogging the chemo.
Stop chiefing the chemo.
Just because you have stage 4 lung cancer. That's like Chief over here on the key.
glad you guys still say that.
Pass the IV. Yo, it's shot, pass.
Shot, pass, man.
Oh, Mr. Chemo over here thinks he gets to hog the IV. Okay, guys. I mean, I guess we're not...
Maybe we should try
going.
It was no joke. The chemo you were fucking with was some medical grade shit.
We should go to a cancer ward and just be like, "Yo, you guys want some fucking weed? Because I got."
You just give them weed for free. I don't want to do that.
No, I'm gonna sell
weed. I'm
gonna sell them.
I'd rather do something.
No, I'm gonna
funny.
sell them. I'm gonna make a fucking.
I'd rather get like a bunch of I'd rather just get like a bunch of like oregano and just be like, yo, you guys want to buy some weed? No, that's evil. That's evil. I wouldn't do that to cancer patients.
That's what they did on the Office.
I would do that to 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
I know a kid that sold people a leaf of lettuce for $20 and said it was a dub one time.
How?
I don't know, dude. That's
oh
the
my
thing.
god.
That's what, like, I was thinking, like, those kids, like, had to know they were getting finessed, and they're just like, this is an older head. I'm not going to say nothing to him. I'm just going to take my money and remember him for being a scumbag.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, it could have been like...
I laughed so much when he told me that shit, though.
Sometimes, like, a handoff is quick. You may not look at the bag until he's gone. Yeah. And then you just look at the bag and it's a fucking head of lettuce and you're like, what the fuck is this?
And they're like, yo, how do we smoke this? And they're like, he's like, you take it and you put it on top of a burger. Like,
oh, what a dick. That's funny.
No, I don't know if that's
funny.
true.
That'd be funny if you really did that.
Yeah, that's funny. People that do that, though, are the absolute worst.
I mean, yeah, it's a shitty thing to do, but it's also kind of like a lesson to any young kids never to buy drugs from a random guy. Because, like, if a random guy, if just to pull a prank, if I, like, sold you some catnip and said it was weed, like,
hey, don't buy drugs from strangers.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be mad. You'd be like, I'm out $20, but then you'd be like, lesson learned. I'll never buy weed.
What if they went to buy weed? What if they went to buy weed and gave them heroin? Like, it's the way worse drug than they
just like, it's like you're like, this is weed, and it's literally just like 5 tabs of acid. It's like, how do we smoke it? It's like, you don't smoke it. You just put it on your tongue, and then.
What would a 10-year-old on acid, like? How would that even?
I mean, they'd probably just cry. It'd be scary.
It would be
or
like
they might love it. If it's a good trip, they might just be like, yo, like,
true. They want it to be like that forever.
That would be so, I don't know. Like, I don't think you'd ever be able to come out of that if you were like 10 years old.
It would probably fuck up your development pretty bad.
You know what I mean?
What was the worst thing that happened to y'all when you were a kid that you could remember?
The worst thing?
Yeah. Well, what's your trauma?
Well, I mean, the worst thing that ever happened to me randomly...
Was this Dr. Phil?
I was like, let's make that...
I feel like this is challenge day in high school. Did you guys have that?
No.
We had acceptance day.
What's challenge?
Little aside about challenge day. Basically, challenge day was a day where if you signed up, it was like once a year. You didn't have to go to any of your classes. You would just go to the gym. And it was basically just a big old group therapy session / circle jerk where kids would like sit in circles and talk about their problems and like you would do these little like emotion games. And, like, it's all like, dude, I just remember like just me and my friend just constantly ripping on it. Like my friend Andrew, one of my best friends from years, was sitting at my lunch table, and me and my other friends were all like shitting on challenge day. We're like, yeah, all these fags that go to challenge day, like you guys are pussies, like. And my friend Andrew had went, so he got like really upset, and he like got up from the table, and was like, you know what? Just because you don't understand the problems other people have in their lives, and then we and my friends all just started.
You really captivated his aggression,
bro. We burst. We were just laughing, like the whole table was just hysterical, fucking laughing. It was so funny.
What was his name?
Andrew.
What?
Andrew? You should just call him Challenged Andrew.
Challenged Andrew.
He's like, did you guys ever see that movie Chronicle before?
Yeah.
The whole time, that fucking psycho kid, and they're like, Andrew, don't! Like,
kill me! He ends up killing Michael B. Jordan in that movie.
Yeah, he does. He kills Michael B. Jordan.
That's a good movie.
That movie's fine.
Yeah.
Remember that scene with the fucking spider? What he like? I saw that in theater when he takes the spider and just. It's like, oh shit! I saw that in theaters, and I think somebody probably said that.
Not to, spoiler alert. I just remember being mad.
You always say he killed Michael B. Jordan.
Well, yeah. It's very true.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what?
We spoil movies all the time. But I remember being mad that the other character saved his dad. I really wanted his dad to die.
Yeah, his dad.
I was like, this guy's a piece of shit. Like he's totally justified to kill his dad. And then he was about to. I was like, yeah, drop him from the building. And then the other dude saved him. I was like, pussy. Like, what the fuck?
What was that kid's goal?
I don't even know.
He was just angry. I don't think he had. I think that was the point, that he didn't really have a goal. He was just like an angry teenager.
I think it's just like when you live your whole life with no power.
Yeah, he's going crazy because he finally.
But why are you still living the same life? Like, why are you staying at home when he got the power? Like, he's robbing banks. He's doing crazy shit. Go rob a bank in Wisconsin and fucking fly over to I don't know, Mexico. Like,
or just fly to Hawaii and build a shack and live there. Like, that's what I do.
That's what happened at the very end. Was his friend? Was it his friend or his brother?
To bed or some shit.
Yeah,
the cousin.
They set it up for a sequel that never happened.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna find out what happened to us.
At the end it was like, I gotta find out why this is happening to people and where this is coming from, and it's like the end. Like they're trying to make a sequel, and it never was made.
I bet it wasn't even a budget.
Chronicle too.
I would have.
The first one I thought was really good. I was in college when I saw that, and like. That was a fucking.
For what it's worth, like telekinetic powers have been done a lot. Like you see it in Star Wars with the Force. I actually think it's cooler in Chronicle.
Yeah.
Like I like that you can use like your telekinesis to fly. Like that's awesome.
Oh,
like,
the
fact that you can fly with it is sick.
It was very creative with the fucking writers, man.
Yeah, like that shit's crazy.
The flying was excellent. That scene. I mean,
yeah,
it was also like that. Over those like a few years, the whole handheld thing was very popular.
Yeah, but before we get to that, getting back to your question, the worst thing that ever happened to us.
I would have forgot.
I didn't forget. I didn't forget. That's why I'm the host. That's why Jack's the co-host. No, I'm kidding. We're both the same. Oh, Jack, no, you mean it, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay,
you're the host. I'm the co-host. I'm sorry. It's okay.
Alright, anyway. So the worst thing that ever happened to you when you were a kid.
So for me, I have one. Like, because I got bullied a good amount, so there's plenty of shitty moments, but there was just one time randomly where I, like, went to the bathroom when I was, like, 4, and these 2 older kids were just in there. I didn't even know who they were, but they just beat the shit out of me. It was just so random.
What?
Like, I was literally, like, 4 years old. I just went to the bathroom. Usually, they were, like, there was, like, a buddy system. Like, you're supposed to go to the bathroom with a partner. For some reason, I just didn't have one that time. And I just, like, walked in, and these 2 older kids just, like, beat me up, basically. They're, like, I remember specifically they banged my head on the dryer.
What the fuck?
And they, like, threw me on the floor.
It
was so random.
That's super aggressive.
Yeah, it was fucking insane. Like, I mean, thinking back, it's fucked up.
They get banged on a dryer, normally, like, it's like in a movie and their face gets caved in from it.
Well, yeah, like, it was really intense for someone my age. I didn't understand what was going on, you know what I mean?
Had to put, like, a little bit of a guard on you in bathrooms after that, though.
I mean, to be honest, like, I don't really remember it affecting me. It probably just made me more aggressive and awkward. Like, because I've always been sort of aggressive and it's always been hard for me to make friends over the years, and I've always had difficulty with social situations. I've never been scared of things, but I've always, like, had manic thoughts about, like, what if I got in a fight? Like, what could I do? Like, you know, like... So, yeah, it definitely affected me in some way. I just didn't... It didn't hinder me, but it was such a fucked up moment. I guess I was lucky to be young enough to where I wasn't developed enough to have it, like, seriously impact me psychologically yet. Because I just remember, like... forgetting about it, you know? Like, and then I remembered it, like, you know, it's one of those things that you kind of remember years later. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, like, yeah, no, it was so random. And my mom fucking raised hell, because she was like, why was he going to the bathroom alone? And, like, you know, she created, like, a whole thing. And my like, school threatened to sue them and shit. Like, but, like, I mean, yeah, that's definitely the worst, because, you know, there's definitely memories I have that I remember being more emotional for, because I was older. But if you put it on paper, that's the worst thing that could happen to a kid, is just getting beaten up by random kids you don't even know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're not even, like, kids in your class.
They're
it's
just
like
some random... It's like the fear of just the unknown.
You got like, fucking American History X.
Yeah, right? Like, it's like I was black. Like, I walked in and they called me the N-word, and I'm just like, what?
I mean, actually...
I mean, it's not like I was black. I wouldn't make that equation. But almost.
His clothes were black.
My clothes were black. I was wearing all black.
Why are you wearing those N-word clothes?
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
you're
dude,
like, no, don't
I'm like,
jump me.
I'm like, dude, black lives matter. Ow, ow.
I actually have a funny story that's similar to like the one what they're saying with your mom raising hell. When I was in high school, there was when I was in a freshman in high school, there was this kid who actually ended up being accused of rape. I think he was kicked out of school for that. Oh shit! For sexually assaulting.
Is this the worst thing that happened to you?
That's what I think.
No, this is Guys, that's the whole reason I wanted to have this podcast.
Yeah, it was the worst thing because I loved him and that shit was consensual as hell.
No, it was.
The reason I started this show was so I could call him out.
That's why I wanted to do the episode tonight. I wanted to share my story. But anyway, this kid, he got kicked out of school for allegedly sexually assaulting a mentally challenged girl. And so,
Jesus.
Anyway, when we were...
What an easy target.
What's that?
That's like straight up evil.
This guy's fucking crazy motherfucker. Anyway, so he would pick on me when we were 14, and one time he challenged me to a fight, so we were all standing outside, and we were, fighting him. I mean, he was, we were, punching, whatever. Anyway, they separated us, and they went to the principal, and we both went to the vice principal. I mean, the vice principal, Mr. Cole, was like, all right, I have to suspend both of you guys. And then I called my parents, telling them the news, and then my mom, just went fucking ballistic.
Oh shit!
And she was like,
Mama Seagull came through.
Oh yeah, well my dad came to the school.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
It's like, wait, do you guys hear that flapping? It's like, oh no, it's Jack's parents.
They're trying to steal French fries.
Yeah, right. They eat all the. Listen, if you
don't, whose kid are you?
If you don't get justice for my son, we will eat all the cafeteria food. I swear.
Well, anyway, this is actually kind of a lame story now. No,
it
is.
I'm sorry,
So, my dad goes to the office, and he's like, listen, he wasn't involved, he was getting picked on. This wasn't, an even thing. And he was like, I'm sorry, but I have to abide by the rules. And my dad was like, all right, but my wife's gonna come in here, and I think you'd rather deal with me, to be honest, because you're not gonna like this.
Oh my god! But honestly, your dad is such a homie for giving that warning. Because I've had customers not give me that warning, where a guy will come and be like, "Can I do this?" And I'm like, "Well, no, that's not here. You have to go somewhere else."
Yeah. Well, my mom didn't yell or anything. She just came in and she's like, "Listen, he's not gonna get suspended." They're like, "Lauren, let me just finish."
Yeah,
they're
please.
No, I have, and my mom was like, all right, well, I'm not going to leave this off. I'm just going to sit here until, you don't do that. He's like, really? He's like, all right. And then, the principal comes to, I was, in school suspension. You ever have that where you're you're just, there's, an assigned person.
Yeah, ISS. Yeah.
That shit was fun in high school. It was not fun in my middle school, but it was fun in high school.
So I was just sitting there, and I see the principal come in here, and he just has this look like he's about to cry. Because, and he's like, Jack, you can come out of... And I just will start, I just look at him with this big fucking grin. I just start cracking up as I'm walking by. What a fucking...
Damn. That feel like garbage for him.
Yeah.
He was probably just like...
he just got completely emasculated.
Yeah, right.
I'd be a terrible guest if I ran to use the bathroom real quick.
No, you can go. Go ahead.
That's not the thing that would make you
breaks.
terrible.
Yes, bathroom break for Don LaMarca, everybody. Well, time for our sponsors.
Fat Tire.
Fat Tire
That's
Ale.
what we're drinking.
Yeah, drink it. It's good.
Also, Poland Spring.
Poland Spring water bottles. Drink them. They're good. They're water.
I used to get confused by this when I was a kid because it would say Poland Spring, but then it would say Born in Maine, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, Poland is in Maine. Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
I like how it's funny when you go to other states or other parts of America. They have different token. They have different everything, but they'll have different token water brands.
Yeah.
In Florida, there's no Poland Spring. They have this shit called Zephyr Hills, which is basically just another Poland Spring. Right. But it's literally just it's so tacky. It's bro, you guys should just get Poland Spring. Get the you gotta be lame.
Well, it's interesting how, water should just be this universal thing where it's just... But it's true when they... Different, Poland Spring and Dasani and all, they really do taste differently.
Kind of, yeah. It depends on like how it's filtered, I guess.
Like Poland Spring's my favorite type of water. Like you shouldn't have like it should all just be the same.
Yeah,
shit.
right. It's like it's weird to have a top 5 list of water.
It's all fucking water, but it really is like distilled.
I honestly don't like Dasani's. It's not.
Dasani's shit.
It's and the bottles, like I just don't like that. It's fuck that shit.
It's shaped like a fucking dildo.
Yeah, right. It's shaped like a chode.
Also, Dasani's owned by Disney.
Really?
Which is like why Dasani. Yeah, Dasani is like. That's why Dasani is everywhere. Like if you go to most kiosks, they just exclusively sell Dasani. We were talking about how Dasani water. And I realized I've said Dasani like 50 times.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Like,
yeah, are you working for them?
Not only that, this is some interesting stuff here.
They're absolute shit.
What? I fuck with Dasani.
Dasani's horrible.
What? Says who?
Says Jack.
Says me. They're fucking terrible. Yeah, and Tom. So.
Well, I mean, I'm just not a fan. I like.
Get on board. Why don't you pick a side?
I like 7-Eleven water the best. Just like 7-Eleven brand regular water.
Oh,
because it's cheap and it's just water. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit about Poland Spring.
I used to have
like get the 40 packs.
Yeah. Would you ever get those like? I know people that would bring jugs of water like on vacations. They just have like a jug of water.
Yeah, right. They're just lugging a gallon. It's like, all right, bro. Like, how much water do you need?
I've walked around with a gallon before, and that shit feels weird. It feels like you're just gonna spill at some point. It feels like at some point.
Yeah, you're gonna drop it.
It's just like here's me with my gallon of water. Like,
I remember like being on line for a ride at Hershey Park, and this guy had one of those military backpacks that you could like fill with water and drink from like a straw.
Like a Camelback.
Yeah, cool. I thought it was awesome, but then I'm like, do you really need that for this like line to fucking like Fahrenheit or something? I mean,
well, like,
it's like it's gonna be another 30 minutes, bro. Like,
I mean, those I would use for skiing. Like those, for that when you go skiing on mountains, they're good. Yeah, that too.
Biking or even just like running, hiking, anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess if you're walking around an amusement park all day, it's better to have a backpack than water bottles.
Yeah, you can't bring that shit on the ride.
You can have a backpack with water bottles.
Yeah, wait, well, how the fuck was he waiting in line? Don't you gotta put that shit in a locker?
I don't know. He just had it on him. It was weird. Like,
I haven't been to an amusement park in so many years. Like, I mean, I've gone to like fairs, but like the last time I went to like a Six Flags type of theme park, I can't remember.
Last time I went to Six Flags, I was so fucking high. It was awesome.
Facts, me too, man. I don't mean to like sound ungrateful either, but like I'm so fucking sick of Six Flags.
True.
I've been there too many goddamn times. I'm sick of those rides. I need new roller coasters.
I only went once or twice because my dad has been scared of that park ever since I was a kid. He's always like, they're not safe. They're not well maintained. They always have accidents. You're not allowed to go to Six Flags.
So you want to
be going to Hershey Park for the next 15 years. And I was like, okay. And Hershey Park's cool. It has
Bro, they fucked Hershey's Park. They got the whole chocolate ride, the factory is animatronic now and like electric.
Really?
You don't actually get to see chocolate getting made. They
it's been like that for years.
No, that's gay as hell.
What?
As
a kid, I remember thinking it was real, but then you get older, you're like,
this isn't real chocolate. And I know it's like one of those things that you just find out. It's like it's finding out no Santa Claus, you know?
Yeah, right. Like,
they
probably just like
we're drinking Dasani.
The people at Hershey are like, we don't want the tourists to see the condition the workers are truly in. Like, you know,
it's like Willy Wonka, you know?
Like, we want them to see chocolate being made with, like, music in the background. We don't want them to see a factory worker trying to hang himself from the rafters. Yeah. Like,
let's use a talking Hershey's Kiss instead.
Exactly.
Sweatshop of people making chocolate.
But I went to Six Flags, and, like, we were so fucking stoned, and I remember going on, like, the Green Lantern ride, and I was so high. I was so nervous that my knees were gonna break. I was like, oh my god, please don't
I could not go
break.
there high. I would be fucking freaking out.
It was fun, but it was crazy.
It's fun.
I
remember
I'm not a big roller coaster guy.
8th grade, getting high for one of my first times, going on the Gravitron. That's what I was like spinning around, and I was like, "Weed is the best drug ever. Like, I'm gonna smoke forever." Like,
like yes, I love weed.
I'm gonna smoke weed until the day I die, and when I have enough money, there'll be a Gravitron in my backyard.
Gas. Honestly, I mean, that's a moment that would, like, being high for a moment like that would make weed seem so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, seeing an amazing movie while you're stoned, like,
that's
part of you
happening.
loves the movie, and part of you's just like, God, that being high for this is so good. Like,
oh yeah, or like a food
acid
that's
for
amazing.
the right movie or the psychedelics is great.
the only thing I ever watched on acid was One Piece, and it was scary.
I've or like having a new food or like a food that you love eating stoned, like it just adds so much more to it.
Oh yeah, high eating is amazing.
I love eating in general, but like eating stoned is so. It's like a ritual. You know what I mean? It's so fucking peaceful.
But like, when I was really young, we went to Sesame Street Park.
That shit is lit.
That was my first roller coaster.
Ride's fire.
My first roller coaster ever was the
Grover
coaster.
shit?
Yeah,
that shit's fire. That shit awesome.
Yo, low key greatest roller coaster of all time.
It's good. It's
Not
good
gonna lie.
I got to meet Ernie too. He was my favorite character on the fucking thing. You know?
That's cool.
I remember going there.
Ernie was my sister's favorite character. Why Ernie?
Because it's like that song. You gotta put down the ducky. Put down the ducky.
I think it's because Jack is gay.
Probably. It's because I relate to Ernie on that level.
Yeah. Jack's just like, Ernie has always been a really big LGBT icon to me. And
well, they just came out as gay.
I'm just about to ask that. Of course, what? Why? How old are these fucking puppets? Like,
I mean, what's
their age supposed to be?
They didn't have to be gay. Like
they could just be friends living in a. I never
have
thought
to
about
be.
it.
It's not. They don't even have to be. We don't need to know their sexual preference. These characters are for 4-year-olds.
Exactly, dude. When I watched them as a little kid, I never was thinking about the fact that Ernie and Bert like stayed in the same bed. It never occurred to. I don't care.
We grew up. We made memes like, guys, what if Bert and Ernie were gay? And then the fucking writers of the show were like, what if Bert and Ernie were gay? Like,
because then there was pressure to be like. Now they're like, we want to be woke, so let's be like, he's gay, and now we have the fur. And not
Elmo meditates.
I just like let's make Bernie gay just in case there's any gay 4-year-olds out there that need a role model to identify with. Like, it's just like stupid. Like these characters
got a vagina now.
Yeah, right. It's like Big Bird is a woman, by the way. Just I always thought Big Bird was a woman anyway. Like when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, no, I assumed Big Bird was a female.
Never. What?
Really? I always thought she was.
Actually, no. Now that I think about it, I always like
he always had a high.
I always thought Elmo was a girl, even though Elmo was a guy's name and trying to be a boy. I thought Elmo was a woman. Big Bird was a guy.
I just used to think Big Bird was a woman because it sounded like she was like an older woman. Like Big Bird always gave me this like teacher vibe, like. Or like a babysitter.
Hi, where are we going, guys?
Yeah, right? Like, oh my god, Snuffleupagus is here!
Oh, hi, Elmo.
And really, they're like, Big Bird, who are you talking to? There's nobody there. No, Snuffleupagus, he's right there.
Yeah. They never
I swear to God, he's there!
See, if they really want to analyze what they never realize, like, Big Bird has a mental illness.
Yeah,
like,
right?
Just having a guy who has like severe, like, delusional.
Okay, but that's the whole thing. It's like we keep sitting here saying this, we go make memes of that, and then all of a sudden the people at the show are like, like we're insensitive to people with mental illness.
It's like no, you're
Big
not.
Bird got
We're just
bipolar
fucking
now.
bullshitting around.
Like,
you know, that's
we're just fucking joking about.
That's all the memes were. Nobody really gave a shit about Bert and Ernie being like. Because as a kid, we didn't think about it. We were just making jokes because it was like.
I mean, if anything, Bert and Ernie showed kids that it was okay for two men to sleep together. That's all you need to know. Like as a kid, once you get older. You'll put it together like, you know, also maybe
they have an autistic character now too,
which is like fine, but it's just like that shit's heavy for kids. Don't get what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Someone was sitting there. They were like studying like the market for their viewers. They're like, not enough autistic kids are watching this show.
Yeah, it's like
they need a friend. Like,
it's also weird to say like, listen, all of our characters are pretty retarded. We need a character that's really retarded. Like, we need a character that doesn't just eat cookies all the time.
I remember
we need a character that's afraid.
Crayons.
Actually, you know what? When I found out this news, I watched the clip of that, like to see what that was about. It was like I think their name was Julia and Elmo were like painting, and Big Bird comes over and is like, "What are you guys painting?" And like Elmo's like, "I got this fish." And, like the character's autistic, doesn't really do it. And the whole clip, Big Bird's like, "The fuck's wrong with this woman?" Right? That was like basically I mean, they didn't say that.
Like, hey, you guys hanging with a retard?
Why is this fucking like? Because they have like an
and then
Asian
they
guy.
broke it down.
Well,
like,
they
That's
broke
what
it
the
down.
was about.
Like,
It was like, she has autism because they have like an Asian guy.
Yeah. Like, not gonna lie, you're being pretty uncool right now.
It's like, so she's one of the kids that has has 2 teachers? It's like, yes, Big Bird, you're correct. Like, trying to teach somebody.
Yeah, right. It's like, so wait, you're telling me this kid's afraid of shower water? It's like, yes, Big Bird. It's like,
Yeah.
It's just, like, weird, like, to have him come in and be like, Jesus Christ, you guys hang with Speds now? It's like, Big Bird.
Well, like,
what the fuck is wrong?
Then he says some shit the kids don't understand. Like, oh, like, yeah, like, it's... These kids have a very hard time picking up on social cues and other people's emotions and like.
Yeah, right. See,
like,
this is caused by a neurological, and kids are already like, I don't know what they're saying. Like,
and get back to like the songs and the fucking
Yeah, it's like please just show me a monster eating cookies. So
we're all exactly.
Again. Like,
imagine like. Well, that's even the thing they made, and I know we're kind of sounding like boomers, but not really.
Well, because I'm not saying it's wrong to have an autistic character in
it's just
any
like
show.
It's pointless.
It's just not. It's
just like it's pointless to have Cookie Monster be Veggie Monster.
Well, it's just pointless for
like
young
he eats
kids.
Cookies.
Was that actually that happened?
Yeah,
that was
that
the
happened.
thing. No, I think that was the thing that happened for a while.
It probably went back.
They're like, this is so fucking.
I remember
gay.
seeing it in the news as a kid.
Yeah, no,
because they're like, we don't want kids thinking it's okay to just eat cookies. It's like.
Nobody
fuck
thinks
you!
that.
Like I'm trying to watch my shows. Like
also nobody thinks like that's okay.
Yeah, right.
They could have had Bert and Ernie be a gay couple, and then they could have made like Cookie Monster a female.
Vegan?
Yeah, no, they could have had Cookie Monster be female, made him a lesbian, the fucking Veggie Monster.
The Veggie Monster.
Yeah. As he's eating somebody out. Well, because like when Cookie Monster would eat cookies,
pussy,
the cookies would just go everywhere. Nobody even thought, like, nobody was like, oh, I guess we're just supposed to eat cookies that way. Like,
yeah, I never would watch Cookie Monster and be like, yeah, I just want to, like, force 18 cookies into my
and have a bunch of cookies go everywhere.
Like, yeah. If anything, fucking, you should be more worried about Cookie Monster teaching kids how to fist their own mouths. Like, that's really all he did.
Yeah. No, it's like, I don't know. You don't need to fucking teach them to...
I mean, because kids don't get it. Like, if you want to have a show that's meant for older kids and you want to put that in, that makes sense because they'll understand and you can teach them. Yeah. Sesame Street is for kids learning how to fucking count. Like, you know
Next
what I
thing
mean?
you know, they're going to make Bert transgender. He's going to be Roberta.
Then they're just going to make Oscar just like, I don't even know.
Like
I love my new vagina.
Yeah. Well, I love trans.
No.
Sorry. We're doing bits over
you. You have a very soft voice, so me and Tom can talk over it sometimes.
Tom's like, listen, I'm half meditating for this anyway.
I know. I was just talking about that like the other day, like that the person that like told me to fucking start meditating, like basically was like, yeah, dude, it's like psychedelics. Like, what if you could feel like that all the time? I remember like being scared like with psychedelics, like to be like stuck with psychedelics. Now like I'm meditating and I'm just stuck in a meditation all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're like, well, I'm not tripping, but
yeah, I'm like
I'm
pretty my chest going up and down, like, and my feet on the cushions, like
yeah, you're like I am always grounded no matter where I am.
Can you actually feel like you know the talk about the whole idea of meditation is to get rid of the illusion of the self and just like not even feel like a person at the moment, sort of go beyond yourself.
Dude, that shit happened to me during quarantine. That's why quarantine was so great.
Really, that's
the thing. Like everyone else in quarantine is like just crying, like whoa, and then Dom's just sitting there like sitar music.
Dom's crossing dimensions.
Dom just has like it's like in the background. It's like ding 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 ding. Dom's it's like incense.
I'm in alternate states of reality right now. Yeah. Anyway, so like, what was that like? Describe it.
It just alright. It was good.
Jesus, it's like please talk about your experience.
It made me feel like communication is abused. That we abuse communication with each other. Like, you know, like it made me feel like so much could be said without words. So much could be figured out without words.
I completely disagree.
You think so?
No, I actually
See, this is why communication doesn't work.
Yeah, that's how you break
communication. You have people like Jack.
The whole thing, the big issue I realized recently too is like with arguments and shit like that is so many people are saying the same fucking thing in different ways and they just can't even comprehend it because they're saying it in different ways.
Yeah, that's true.
Most people agree on most shit, but they argue over the 5% of stuff.
Yeah, we're arguing over word choice.
Right. Yeah.
Like.
Exactly. Like, have you ever seen people argue like a liberal and a conservative point, but like they're really arguing like the same kind of thing? Like, you'll see, like, a Republican be like, I don't trust these billionaire tech companies. And then, like, you'll see a liberal just be like, nobody should be allowed to be a billionaire. And they're arguing. And it's like, you guys both hate the same thing. Like, you're both...
They
like,
just need to, they just need to come together and kill the rich. No,
yes.
But, like, the thing is that the problem now is that back 50 years ago, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they had more diversity within the party on ideological lines, not just like skin color or religion. In other words, there were like conservatives and liberals that were Democrats and liberals and conservatives that were Republicans. But now there is like the Democratic Party has gone so far to the left, the Republican Party has gone so far to the right. And that's why people are more divided, because like there's no sort of like common ground almost. It's like you
just don't have those moderators in the middle. Like, it's fine to have like sort of extreme people,
right.
But if you don't have anybody kind of on the edge, like to sit there and be like, wait guys, can I just like ask a question?
Can't we all just get along?
We're getting taught to not forgive each other, to scrutinize people for talking about how they really feel or like what's actually going on, the shit like beneath the covers for being human, and it's like gotten us all too scared, like to reach that point that we're capable of, man. It's like,
yeah,
that's what I found out during quarantine.
That's what I learned. You gotta move this.
No, dude, I was...
Because Dom's quieter than a sleeping cat.
This whole thing, you're gonna be like, you're talking to no one. Like,
yeah, right? It's gonna be me and Jack yelling and then just like... No, I'm sure it's fun. Usually it works. Usually I'm looking... I always look at the audio while it's recording.
I agree with what you're saying, though. Like, there's like, it's just a certain innate hatred that... But I think
it becomes tribalism after a while. Like, people start to see it as their group. It's not about like, oh, I've read up on a list of issues and I know where I stand and I know that I won't associate with certain people because they directly stand against me. It's like, it's more just like, I'm on a team. Like, I'm on the blue team. Or I'm on, like, the liberal side.
Yeah.
And these are the bad guys. And it's like...
They're the good guys.
People make it like a movie. You know what I mean? And I'm sick of, that attitude.
Yeah, we're framed to... Like, I think we've been framed by the media to look at everything as a Team Red versus Team Blue type of
just
issue.
Team something. It's labels. Labels are the most destructive thing ever. It's like... And that's almost like what I was saying, like, with the... Like, we don't need words to communicate. Like, even, like, we put, like, a label on something, and it takes away from us being able to, like, almost admire it. Like this is a TV in front of us. We're looking at flat screen TV, guys. There's a TV in front of us.
Sony. That's our other sponsor.
We're in a really nice room, okay?
Yeah. No, but like at the end of the day, it's like I'm calling this TV whatever the fuck. But if I just like sat here and act like I never saw this thing before and was like sitting here like, what the fuck is that? It would be so cool.
It would, yeah. And imagine you turned it on.
And then we label each other. Then they're just, and it's just, it would be even crazier if we turned it on.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't have to watch the movies in my head anymore. Like,
I mean, it's funny. Like, words are all designations. Like. Everything is like your brain defines things with words. Like, it's all categories. Like, oh, this is a chair. Like, you could see something and be like, you know, I can't. You could look at it and be like, even if it has a weird shape or appearance, you'd be like, this is a type of chair, or like this is. But if you didn't have that word chair, this shape would mean like nothing. It would be like, I guess I could sit here.
This thing,
I know, like I could like sit at a table and someone would be like, "Hey, tables are for glasses.
Tables are for glasses." Yeah,
I'm like, actually, I meditate so much that nothing has labels and everything's a quote unquote chair. Like,
it's like, Dom, the hood of my car is not a fucking chair. Nothing has labels.
Have you ever crossed the planes of our reality, Grandma?
It's like, Dom, like, I understand you're really zen, but like my bedroom while I'm trying to have sex with my wife is not a chair. It's like, man, there's no labels.
Your wife could be the chair. You can just sit on her.
If you're raised by wolves, like, or like you raised without language,
yeah, you can actually be raised past. There have been feral humans, and you can be raised past a point where if you get too old, you can't be taught language. Because you pass that stage of development, and then your brain has decided this is how I operate. Yeah. I operate on instinct and
they're like, here's this orange robe, bro. You fucked up. Like,
right. You can never appreciate a podcast, bro. What the fuck?
We call those people the... And then insert racist joke.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
I was not gonna say the word because then I don't want to get us canceled.
Yeah, get us kicked off Spotify before we even get on.
I don't want to do that. Hey, you know what? Joe Rogan hasn't been kicked off Spotify, so
no, he hasn't.
You know what? We could, but he makes more money than we do.
Yes, I mean this is
only
true.
By like millions of dollars.
I saw this funny post that Tim Dillon put up where he just took a picture of Rogan's studio during the whole Texas thing, and he was just like, "They have power." I just thought that was fucking funny. Like everyone in Texas is freezing to death. And like Joe Rogan's studio is just like fully powered with lights, and like a fully working gym.
I forgot Joe Rogan moved to Texas.
Yeah, he lives in Austin, Texas now. I think.
Did Kanye design that studio for him?
Did he?
Because apparently Kanye wanted to design the studio that they did their podcast in, so he might have just made Joe Rogan a new studio.
Maybe.
That's funny.
That'd be crazy if it's true.
Austin's like a real well, at least before this.
Well, yeah, I mean, before it turned into a fucking glacier, it was pretty cool.
No, it was like it's
kind of coming up
city. Like it's like a lot of people are moving there. I went there when
I was like 12.
World
is moving there.
Really? I mean, I went there when I was 12 for a wedding, and even then I remember thinking like this place is pretty cool. Like it's like the city. What I remember is all the streets. You just walk on like the middle of the streets, and like it has this very, I don't know, people always out and about. It's like a nice.
I mean, that's the thing. That's why I think in the next 10 years.
Also, if you like barbecue, it's fucking the best barbecue ever.
Facts, I've heard.
In the South. Anyway, sorry.
They flex on my restaurants.
No, it's fine. I think the same. Like in the 10 years, the main center of comedy might be Austin, Texas. Like more so than LA and New York, just because
the main center of comedy right now is TikTok.
Well, yeah,
true.
I mean, stand up, the art form.
Well, like, that's what they do at South by Southwest, though, in Austin, isn't it?
What?
Isn't that where they do the South by Southwest?
What's that?
You don't know what that is? That's like a big event where like all sorts of artists and politicians and entertainers, and it's like a big convention sort of, and a lot of comedians like that's like a big stepping stone is to be able to perform there. Like they had like Mark Norman on the last one, and like
Mark Norman.
What's that? He's just some guy.
Some dude. I've never talked about him on the show once.
You know what's funny? I would never know about Mark Norman if I didn't start doing comedy, probably.
Yeah, he's not.
I mean, I found out about him after I started stand-up, but I was in Florida. But like, yeah, I didn't know about him until I became a comedy fan.
Yeah.
Right? He's not like famous amongst the general public.
Like, he's kind of like
he will be at some point.
He's kind of like a really successful.
Like Mulaney, you know.
He's like a really successful metal band. You know what I mean? Like, there's metal bands out there that have fans where it's like if you saw them in public, be like, dude, like you're my hero, give me your autograph, but they're not famous. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I think he's like at the point like where
I think right now he's on his rise. I would give him.
He's on his
rise, but he's
like a couple million.
Yeah,
hopefully.
No, he's definitely got money.
He's like the way John Mulaney was like 8 years ago. You know what I mean? He's like getting up there. People are starting to know, like, but he's not a huge star. Like, eventually I think he'll be like a real...
He needs that breakthrough album. He needs that one album.
Out to Lunch almost had 6 million.
Well, that's a lot of views, but you know what I mean? He needs that album that all of America gets obsessed with. Like, that one thing... Yes. Like, think about Kevin Hart's first huge album that, like, all of America was just flipping out about, and suddenly Kevin Hart was
I like how you chose Kevin Hart.
Well, I mean, who else was I going to choose? It's like...
I don't know, but it's just because like it's like a fake Kevin Hart's going for the same goal as Kevin Hart. Like,
that's true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Wait, so
but you know what I mean? Like same thing. Like the first Kevin Hart did it this way. Now this Kevin Hart is But yeah, that's Mark Norman.
Right. He's like, wait, what? Okay.
But that's the thing. Is like you think about that first album of a comedian that really broke out. Like for Louis C.K., it was hilarious. Like when Hilarious dropped. After that album, he was like a comedy icon.
I would say with him, it would be Shameless, the one.
I don't know. I feel like people didn't know him yet. Like I had heard of Louis But then when
I mean,
hilarious.
Because it was never heard of Louis if it wasn't for a show. I think that show did a lot.
Well, the show did a lot, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But hilarious, like
but he started an HBO show like 3 years before that.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that show is shit though.
That show is fucking hilarious. What do you
really like it? It's okay,
dude. That show is hilarious. For 13, that is.
I tried it. It's like
I've never seen it.
It's just a sitcom style show with Louis. And it's funny because it's Louis, but I'd much rather watch his real show. You know?
No, it's I mean it's two different types of show, but there are moments of it
it's
where
not
I'm
believable
laughing my ass off, and like the whole thing. There's one episode where he buys a doll for like his like daughter, but she doesn't like the doll, so he's like throwing it out, but it's a black doll. So like when he's throwing it out, he happens to see this. But it's not the right doll. He didn't get the right doll for this black guy sees him throwing the doll out. He's like, dude. It's like, what? No, he didn't want the fucking doll.
All right, that's kind of funny.
I thought that show.
I mean, that's just Louis' sense of humor.
Right, exactly. But that's throughout the show. How many the show is great.
All right, I'll give it another try. But what I was saying is more just like the thing with hilarious is it had that one bit he did where he was talking about like cell phones. And just how, like, everyone is so fucking, like, entitled. And, like, everyone's like, why doesn't my phone just go fast? Like, why doesn't it just... And he's like, it's as good as it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're lucky you even have this shit. Like, that bit, like, got him on late night shows everywhere and not doing stand-up, like, in the panel.
Right.
And, I mean, other comedians have examples. Like, you have...
Bill Burr with,
Let It Go, probably.
Yeah.
And then Dave Chappelle killing himself. Like, you could go on, but what my point is... Mark Norman needs that breakthrough album. Like, all of his albums are really funny, but they're still just for his fans. Like, he needs that album that
up through, like,
goes
Netflix, though, or, like, Amazon. But he said, did you ever hear that, like, that story he told? I know this is kind of, like, we're talking about other podcasts here.
Like, you're listening to this other podcast by more famous comedians.
I feel that's why I was like hesitant earlier when I was bringing that other shit up. I'm like, I heard this on this podcast.
Like we're talking about other podcasts. We're talking about our own thing.
So yeah, I was listening to Come Down the other day. This was so funny. Just listen.
It's like, what the fuck? But he told this story about why he's not going to be on Netflix, and it's because like he pissed off a Netflix executive by making fun of Kevin Hart, and he was like, I'll be like Kevin Hart, but I'll be funny. And the guy was like, I actually produced Kevin Hart's last 3 specials.
Oh, shit.
He's like,
I'm gay.
But, I don't know. One day he'll be on there. Or
there's
not.
a lot of comedians.
Who gives a shit? I don't really care. I'm not crying either way.
I mean, there's some comedians who I feel like they'll never break out, and I feel like, well, no offense, like, they're amazing, but I just feel like they don't need to. Like, I don't think Big J is ever going to be, like, a superstar, but he's a legend. No matter what. Like,
well, I was listening to this other podcast.
Another podcast.
It was Big J episode.
It's not as funny as our podcast, though.
Yeah, I bet ours is better.
Yeah, no, Big J sucked. He was not funny at all.
More like
which podcast? Was it
He was on You Made It Weird.
Oh, yeah.
He
I
was
heard
like
about this.
more like Big J.
I heard about this
with the
appearance.
Chappelle shit?
Yeah, I think I heard. I didn't hear about the Chappelle shit.
So, Big J was supposed to be one of the kids in the car in the Clayton Bigsby sketch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That didn't happen.
Damn.
He got fucked with.
It's not like that would have led to anything necessarily, though. I mean, like it might. It's always a stepping stone, but you know.
Yeah.
Chappelle had a lot of like. He had Bill Burr. He had Patrice. Yeah. He like that one.
He didn't actually like Patrice.
Well, there's that one sketch, the Player Haters Ball, where he had Patrice, Charlie Murphy, Donnell Rawlins,
it's such a legendary skit. Yeah.
Rich Voss, and like Ice-T and Craig Robinson, like all in the fucking thing, and yeah, no,
it's really good to jerk off to. It's great.
It's great. I came to it. Well, I didn't know that he hated Patrice.
No, he didn't hate him, but he said in an interview that he was difficult to work with.
Well, yeah.
Which I mean, it's fucking Patrice O'Neal. Like,
yeah, he was supposed to be an asshole.
I heard that from the set of The Office too.
Oh yeah, because I mean, the thing with The Office is like I think he had a chance, like to be really like more involved in that show, and he kind of like squandered it somehow. Like I don't know the full details.
Well, the thing is,
he would literally tell these executives to their faces, like they'd be in a meeting with him, and he would just tell them like, "You're fake. Like you guys don't know anything about like being funny." and like you don't know anything about comedy, and I do, and like this is bullshit, and they'd be like, all right, bye.
For any aspiring actors out there, don't ever do that in a meeting with the people writing your show.
Yeah,
tell them that they're
bad, and don't say you're funnier than Kevin Hart.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you might be, yeah.
But I mean, the thing is like, yeah, no,
he is funnier than Kevin.
I think so.
But something like The Office, right? I mean, you know, I've been on the sets of like TV shows, not to brag, but like the stuff on like.
I didn't realize I was co-hosting with a celebrity over here.
But like when you're on like a TV show, they run a tight ship, and so like, you know, when they are like, we want to shoot a scene, like they're very fucking, you know, down to the, you know, and he's not. Thing is, if you're difficult to work with, he's not like playing ball, and he doesn't want to like.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like to his fans,
like they realize like this guy's not worth having on this show because he's just being a pain in the ass to work with.
Yeah, like to his fans, it's like here's this guy speaking truth to power and having balls and saying what's what. But then it's like to these guys who are just trying to make a TV show. It's like here's this insanely difficult, uncooperative actor who doesn't
not even like
who's
famous,
lucky,
really.
who's not famous, who's lucky to even be
has
here.
A small part, very small part,
and he's talking back at us, like you know.
He's not even like he's a cast member,
and he's black, and he's like he even got in, like.
But he's a cast member, but he's like very small down. He's like a very small part.
Right, like
his character is funny though. He worked in a warehouse. I remember there was like one scene where I forget. But anyway. I don't
This is why
we shouldn't smoke before the podcast.
Yeah, that's why
I was like, I don't know.
This is why we're not gonna
This is gonna be the last episode.
I don't know if we'll ever have a Patreon. Maybe.
This is the last episode before we shouldn't do this before the next episode.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, no, he was like he would like talk.
I sobered them up, guys. I did it.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
All right, good. Yeah, thank you.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna get another beer real quick. I'll be back. Beer break.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I used to like.
Well, now that Tom's gone, we have to talk about how you're the real host.
I am the real host. No, but you know the thing is, I used to like worry about like, I hope this comedian makes it, or like, because they're so funny or whatever. And now it's like I don't really give a shit either way, because it's like that has no effect on me whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like becoming a fans of things. It's like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. You gotta hope you make it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm worried about myself. Like I don't give a fuck. Yeah. You know. It's. Although on the flip side, you don't want to become that like jealous guy, who whenever they're like performing, whenever somebody makes it, you're just like, it's easy to fall into that trap when you do comedy, or like acting or any of the like becoming jealous of people when you find out good news about them.
See, dude, I would love to get fame and shit one day myself, but I've also gotten to the point where I've, like, accepted, like, that not being a possibility and just getting a career, and that's why, like, I'm in this writing classes now, cause, like, so I can write on a TV show one day in the future and shit.
Well, that's the thing, you gotta think about, like, a more practical step.
I'm good, thank you, though, man.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah. I'll be too fucked at this mic.
True. I forgot we're going to the mic.
You're going to a mic?
Yeah, we're gonna hit the governor's one.
Oh.
You want to come? I mean...
you'd have to reach out to Steve to see.
Well,
I'm sure
it's like it's like a private event.
Yeah.
So like Steve.
I'm sure if you message him right now, it'll be alright.
Yeah, I'll drive all of us.
What time is it? I don't know. Why are we talking about this on the podcast?
Just make
we're on the podcast.
Just make a decision in your head, and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we're on the fucking.
Yeah. Anyway, Al, what are
you know, Net Comedy Central had like a documentary now about Patrice.
Yeah, no, it came out last night, and it's available now to watch. But
I don't really give a shit.
I mean, I'll watch it. It's just like I've watched so many interviews about Patrice and listened to so much of Patrice's like radio time on Opie and Anthony, and just so much of his comedy like content. It's like, what else do I need to hear? Like just more circle jerking.
Well, it's a little like I don't know. It's odd that like there's so many people that like I love Patrice O'Neal, but to me it's interesting that there's so many people who like wax poetically about Patrice, especially like in the media, when he most certainly would get like canceled.
Oh, he would right now, yeah.
And like if he was alive, a lot of people would fucking hate him because that his type of comedy, like funny comedy, is People are saying like we don't like there's a war against it, and he would have like. No, he was like the least woke person out there.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have. That's why I would have loved to see what would have happened.
He seems like he was woke as fuck.
Well, he was just really smart.
It was different. I'm talking about he wasn't like one of those like politically
PC woke.
PC woke.
Well, no, PC people are not really. Here's the thing
about
the
term.
woke.
That's not woke.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like the term woke is misleading because when you say woke people. You're just referring to PC, you're referring to PC hipster assholes. Like you're not those people are not really woke.
When I hear woke people,
well, it's all it's
I know an Indian guy. Like
no, but no, that's what I mean. It's like it's not necessary. Like when you say woke people, you're not saying people who are really woke. You're saying quote unquote woke people, like people who identify as woke.
Well, like the hipster assholes that you've described, they've like perversed the term into a way that it's like has this negative connotation now.
Yeah, like the Indian shaman or whatever that like he doesn't identify as woke. He's too busy being on another level. Like you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's like real woke people don't take pride in how woke they are. They're too busy actually being woke.
Shit, I
broke
your
that's true.
But yeah, go ahead and put that in the recording. Why don't you just do the fucking ping pong table, you asshole? This is why we need to prepare better. Anyway.
Because of me. It's because of you.
Yeah.
Also, message Steve Jack.
Yeah, send Steve a message. Anyhow. But the thing with... yeah, do that. The thing with Patrice is like... I think there's two possibilities. Because if he just stayed the way he is and just continued to be the funniest man alive... You're right. Most people would probably just, like, not most people, but a lot of people would, like, hate the guy. They would say he was, like,
or maybe
transphobic
if he didn't die, that shit wouldn't have gotten this bad.
That's true. If he was still around and his voice was still prominent in culture, we may not be where we are in America. Or
they really have that big of an influence.
Or there's also people don't consider the possibility that he may have just fucking sold out. Like, yes, it was Patrice, but think about it. Howard Stern sold out, and Howard Stern was the.
You think Howard Stern sold out?
He's a complete sellout now. He was the pinnacle.
How so?
Because he was the pinnacle anti-PC radio host for his entire career. And then in, like, the last 10 years, he was just like, nah, we're PC now. Like, everything they're just totally not the same show. It's just a complete, toothless, hollowed-out shell of what it used to be, where they never crossed the line.
They have, like, Hillary Clinton on. They never would have had Hillary Clinton on 20 years ago.
Well, no, but who gives a shit about having Hillary Clinton?
I'm not saying it's bad to
Why don't you have any jokes where you speak with this much passion?
I know, right?
I hear you go into, like,
why don't I care this much about my material?
Because he's not a talented comic.
I suck my dick. Well, you're not a fucking co-host of the show. How about that?
That's really funny, right?
That was not bad. I'll give it to you. You got me that time. But here's the thing. It's like, it's not like, yeah, good for him. He had Hillary. I don't care.
I don't care
how
that.
big
like,
the celebrities he has on are. I just want the show to be funny, and what it was, and what it was it was the most offensive show on the planet.
What I'm saying is they wouldn't have wanted to come on his show had he been on.
Who cares who wants to? It's supposed to be good.
But that's what I'm saying is that's evidence of your point that he's short.
Like, that's what I mean. Okay, I thought you were saying that, like, he didn't sell out, he was just trying to have Hillary on.
See, this is what I'm saying, we're saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
See, Dom,
you know who else has become, like, PC, even though they're not really, or they didn't used to be, is Sacha Baron Cohen has become very, like, PC.
Yeah.
The new Borat movie even ended on, like, a PC message.
That's what I mean, is like if
what? This is Borat.
Okay, well wait, then what the fuck are we defining PC as? Because I seen the little girl's period in that movie.
No, PC is, here's the thing, you can get as dirty as you want, you just can't, there's just a list of things you're not allowed to do.
Don't punch down.
It's not about...
Punch up.
It's not, right? You could be as gross as you want, as sexual as you want, you're just not allowed to offend certain groups. It's not about being clean. Yeah. It's about don't make fun of trans, don't make fun of gay, don't make fun of any race.
You can tell a joke about, like, this guy was sucking a giant cock and it exploded all of his face, but maybe don't make him into a black guy.
Yeah, or maybe don't make them, or maybe, like, You know what I mean? You can literally tell a joke where it's like, yeah, I was drinking a girl's period blood, as long as she has the power in the situation in the joke. You know what I mean?
I didn't steal it, guys. I didn't steal it.
No, trust me. Trust me, I was drinking her period because she commanded me to and whipped me.
Maybe that could be a joke that one of us tells him, like, I was eating this girl's period blood, which she has complete control over. She has agents.
Yes, she has agency.
She has total agency.
See, that's what I'm saying, is it's not about, like, grossness. Like, and my point was, like, who's to say Patrice wouldn't have also fallen victim? I mean, if he was around, he would have got...
victim? What do you mean?
Like, I mean, if he was around, he would have got more famous, he would have got more money, and he would have been approached.
No, but what do you mean by... Oh, okay.
So, like, people would have said to him, like, hey, man, like, we really want to give you an hour on this... We really want to give you an hour on Comedy Central. We really want to give you a show, but you have to change the way you are. Like, and he may have... caved in, like,
at the end of the day, it's like, you can still talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. It's just like finding a way to cater to the audience. Like, if you're talking about shit that people don't want to talk about anymore, like, then obviously you're not gonna end up like popping off. Like, you gotta fall.
You can't blame the audience.
Well, you gotta keep up with the times. Yeah. But like, my point is, you have like someone.
Can't be like, what's with all these women out there getting jobs?
You have some. My point is, you have someone like Howard Stern, who will like someone like Howard Stern who will defend people getting canceled when like 10 years ago he had a racial slur challenge on his own show. You know what I mean? Like, it's just complete 180
defend
flips.
People getting canceled.
Well, like, I can't think of anything specific, but there's like been times
because he wants his viewers still. You need to cater to the people.
But most of his fans are just people who were watching 20 years ago who wish he was like he used to be.
They're just the same people.
They're just the same,
it's
like,
because
boomers.
it's also a generational thing.
Yeah.
So it's more common with our generation.
Like, I think Patrice was really strong.
Oh yeah, just keep talking over my
I'm sorry, Jack.
Maybe
if you sounded louder than the lowest
setting
if I don't
on an
have
iPhone
a fucking
speaker. Scratchy voice.
Yeah, he healed from his lung cancer, Tom.
You're right.
It's a nice callback, by the way. I like that. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, there's always the temptation. I think it would be funny if like one of us became a PC sellout one day, like with like talking about. I mean, it's weird. Like, I feel like a lot of people are like that. Like, once they get famous. Like, Mulaney is like that. If you read interviews with... I read an interview with John Mulaney the other day, and he was, like, talking about it. He's like, well, you know, I come from a very privileged place, and, you know, and he's using all these, like, buzzwords. Like, all these...
would jerk me off to sleep every night.
Yeah, all these... But he was talking about, like, you know, I'm not a marginalized person. Like, he's using all these, like, buzzwords and, like, talking about, like, you know, you gotta speak truth. And it's just, like... It's weird to me, like, all these very, very, very successful people just kind of seem to have all the same opinions, and they just.
It's almost like they're not speaking for themselves.
It's almost like they're just towing a line, and they don't want to like cross that line because they're afraid of just like.
Well, because you become especially as a comedian, you are your own business. You don't want people thinking there's anything wrong with your business.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you're a company. Yeah. Like somebody like the owner of Publix. I heard a rumor, may not be confirmed. I heard the owner of Publix, which is a supermarket chain in Florida, rushed the Capitol. So like people are boycotting Publix. I'm pretty sure, and it's like that type of thing where it's like, you know, if you're a comedian, it's like you're selling comedy. Like instead of groceries, you sell comedy to people. So people are not going to want to buy your comedy.
But you have to sell yourself before you can sell comedy, too. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, if they think your comedy is made in a dark place, they're not going to want to buy it.
Right. Yeah. No, I get that.
But at the same time, it is weird. Like, you see a famous guy like Mulaney using all these buzzwords in an interview. It's like, okay, is that really him speaking, or did his manager say, like, make sure in interviews you answer with, like, marginalized?
It might just be, you know, I mean, like, I've seen interviews like Andy Samberg, too, saying that stuff, or even, like, Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny. It's like, all these people, like, they're just sort of transformed to become this way, or, like, Sacha Baron Cohen, and it's like, I don't know, it's a weird thing where, like, everybody's using, and you're right, like, you don't want to, like, you don't want to become an asshole because nobody wants to watch a comedian who they don't like.
Yeah, but
like the thing also is that
is the news or any of this shit like the real world though?
What do you mean?
I mean, yeah, a lot of it is just like a lot of what the media says and what you see on Twitter doesn't reflect how people feel.
No, I agree.
Some people just want that to be the real world. So for those people living in that world, they go out, they do their
it's
whatever
not real,
bullshit.
Though. Yeah, it's on real on on like Twitter. You know?
Like I think
people are buying, they might as well be selling. You know. Like,
I'll say this: if Patrice lived and he didn't sell out, people would hate him, but he would still have many fans.
He would have a devoted
many
devoted fans. I mean, now he has like a cult following in a way. You know, and,
he's bigger now than he ever was, which is sad.
Like, take the thing about with like the that girl, the one from The Mandalorian that was fired. You know about that whole story?
I kind of do
about this.
Anyway, she was an actress from The Mandalorian, and she was like tweeting all this very like alt-right shit, and she kept saying all this stuff that was getting all this negative publicity. And eventually, they just fired her, and she was like, "My rights to free speech are being taken away." They're like, "No, they're not. They're like a business. They're trying to sell their TV show and have people watch it, and you're creating.
I think it's different.
You're creating a distraction. Like you're creating a distraction, and people aren't talking about the show. They're talking about the shit you're saying. So you're making it harder for us to sell our TV show. Yeah. We're not saying you can't." Say that shit, but like
I mean, it's also just like you could be a comedian who says that shit, but like if you're on a show, I think it's like I still feel like it's shitty to fire people for things they tweet about, but
it depends what it is, though, right?
I mean, you remember when
you
remember growing up,
I agree.
And your parents used to say never put photos of yourself drinking on Facebook or photos of yourself doing anything on Facebook.
We all do that anyway.
Because. Yeah, but, like, you know, the idea is, like, never put a photo of yourself doing compromising shit on social media, because if you're applying for jobs, they may see it and be like, oh, this guy's a dirtbag, I don't want to hire him. It's the same thing. Like, it's like your boss is, like, looking at your Twitter and saying, is this who I want to hire?
Right.
And the answer is probably no. Like, and I don't think, sometimes when people get fired from shows, like, she's probably not canceled.
Yeah, but honestly, fuck any boss that's going to do that. The only people I've ever had that looked on my social media were, like, the craziest people in the fucking world.
Well, yeah, because you're not a celebrity.
But you're a celebrity, everybody knows about what you
If you were, like, millionaire comedian Dom LaMarca, and you were, like, one of the main characters in a sitcom.
I didn't know you were a psychic.
Yeah, but no, look, if I were to project your future right now...
Yeah. People, like, will check your social media. I've had friends who have been, like, denied. I had a friend who once was, like, denied acceptance to a college because of something he wrote on Facebook. And, like, you know, it depends on what your job that you're applying to also. It's like...
on social media.
Like, I'm...
Oh, yeah, me too.
You know
what I mean? Like... It's just one of those things where it's like, you have to kind of meet in the middle with it, where you want to say, all right, it's not fair that people have to just be muzzled if they want to have a job, but it's also not fair to say that you could just be a complete asshole and then expect no repercussions when people react to what you say. There's a middle ground.
Yeah.
I just think what's annoying is, you know, obviously that people take it too far. But, like, that's, you know, the thing with getting back to Patrice is, like, Patrice's job was to make people that mad. Like, that's all he did, was, like, he just would make people mad enough to want him to go away. And, like,
see, I think
it was funny as fuck. But,
well, yeah,
like, I don't know if something like that could survive now.
Well, the thing is that the reason a lot of people are, and I know I might sound like an asshole right here, but the reason that a lot of people are, like, in the media are, like, saying nice things about him now and saying, like, he's like, a brave person, even though they would have hated him, it's because he's black. Like, if he was a white guy, if he looked like Bill Burr, they wouldn't have given... They would have been like, he's a piece of shit.
Partially, I think it's... I mean, it's also because he's great, but you're right. If he were white, he would not be romanticized as heavily.
No, I'm talking about, like, by the mob, you know what I'm talking about.
The mob, yeah.
The mob
even, that's what I mean.
Be fucking hated.
Like, I don't think...
Like, the same thing with, like,
I don't think it's just because
you know?
he's black. It's also because he's amazing. But even if he were white and equally as amazing... You may be able to argue that.
Well, you know, it's ironic because it's like I found out that Judd Apatow is directing a documentary about George Carlin, and it's like, but you would have been one of the people that he talks about in his comedy.
You'd have been one of the people he shits on.
Like that's the whole thing. Is his whole thing was like he hates all these like. He hated political correctness. He hated, he kind of attacked both sides, Republicans and Democrats. He hated the Christian right, but he said, like, political correctness is fascism. but you're like a PC guy. Like it doesn't.
But it's like
it doesn't.
Also, too, whenever we sit here and we say it's about someone, are we forgetting to like separate the art from the artist too? Like, how do we know that these were their real ideals?
Well, we don't.
Yeah, we truly do. You don't know when like what someone's intention is with art. I mean,
right,
unless they tell you. But like, I think it matters. You know, it depends on like how you look at it. Like, if it depends on what your art implies. Like, some people make art that's directly serious and supposed to reflect reality.
Well,
but some people are just like, man, I'm just trying to laugh at some abortions. And
I think
like,
George Carlin was one of those comics who would
just
tell his real thoughts on shit. That's and the same thing with Patrice O'Neill. The same thing, like Louis C.K. or Bill Burr. They were the types of comic, or Dave Chappelle. They are the types of comics that go out and like, here are my thoughts about X, Y, and Z, and now you're going to hear all of them. And then there are the comics who like, and I'm not saying like one is typed better than the other, but they'll talk about things, but they'll do it from like a sarcastic way. Like a lot of like Daniel Tosh's stuff that he would say, I don't think he really believed, but he thinks it's like funny.
Or he's like being meta with it.
He's just like he's being shocking just because it's funny to say shocking, offensive things, you know. But George Carlin, I definitely believe, and I don't know this. You're right. I never knew the guy, whatever. But I just believe that he was one of those guys who was like, this is what I think, and like that really was what he.
Well, it depends on which one.
I've never seen Carlin, so that could be right too. Also, at the end,
I can't believe you asked. You texted the group chat asking for comedy albums. You should have just looked up all of Carlin's shit if you haven't seen it.
I didn't know what to do. I was like re-listening to fucking.
Carlin's the man, but whatever. Like,
Drew Michael. I was listening to his first album. I never listened to that shit before. That shit was funny. He had a joke about stalking a bitch, and that shit was crazy.
True, I'll have to look at it.
It was so funny.
But the thing is, like, yeah, it's with Carlin, a lot of it, like, he has this one bit called "People Who Ought to Be Killed," where like he just basically talks about annoying people. But like he always introduces it as like, he'll be like, here's another group of people who deserve an inoperable tumor at the base of their spine. These guys who talk on the phone, or who pretend to talk on the phone with a pinky and the thumb. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously he doesn't really think those people want to die or deserve to die. Well, he's just reflecting kind of like how like aggravating those annoying like whatevers are. But
I mean, Bill Burr, like,
it's all about maybe he does want those people to die. And we're all PC culture, like
that guy really wants to kill all these people. Like,
he really
found out George Carlin was legitimately a psychopath.
Yeah, but overall, I think we're growing up in an era where comedy's changing.
Right.
And as long as we know how to adapt, I think we'll be fine.
We're growing up.
See, even now you're starting to sound like a fucking one of those guys, because you're like, we got to adapt.
No, just like adapt.
We got to change with the times, guys. You can't be stuck in the past.
Well, I think
I was just saying how we should basically delete this whole podcast and remake it completely PC and clean, and talk about how great Hannah Gadsby is.
Yeah.
I don't know who Hannah Gadsby is.
She's a comedian. Time can explain.
I like how you almost said comedian, but then you were like,
yeah.
Basically, she's this heavy air quotes here comedian who
So she a bitch with a microphone.
Yeah, basically she's a bitch with a microphone. No, basically she's this lesbian comedian who made a special where she basically is declaring that like the old style of comedy is completely dead because it's problematic. And that all this is not in her special specifically, but a lot of what she said after her special kind of declaring that all entertainers have a responsibility to talk about only like social issues in their material. Otherwise, they're part of the problem.
Which is what I love.
Like if you don't talk about politics and you don't, reflect the left-wing view, you are literally part of the problem.
But the thing is like a lot of other comedians think though. So
see, I agree with what you say until you said that it has to specifically be the left wing, because then it becomes biased. I think that.
Well, I just don't think you don't have to be
talk about those issues in the gray area of everything.
But you don't have to even. You don't have to be political. Like, why can't people just joke about?
No, not political. Just social shit. Just like literally like the reality. Like so many of us are just drifted off in this far off reality. That's like. shit we create in our head, and I think like the goal is to like speak about that gray area, like the truth, the shit that no one can
but not
deny.
what Tom's trying to say is not
be like
that. Some comedians just talk about like their sucks.
Some comedians are just like some comedians are some
Mark Normand doesn't speak truth to power. He just kind of tells like
Mark Normand.
It depends on the joke with him. It does, but it also some comedians are like. Okay, my jokes are analyzing social cues deep down, or they might have points. But some comedians are just like, "Hey, everyone," and it's just like stupid.
Yeah.
Like, and you have shows like that. Like, not everything has to have a direct.
That would be like
point.
saying to like a comedy. That would be like watching Airplane and being like,
"How does this reflect society?"
This isn't serious. It's
like somebody trying to analyze Airplane with a postmodernist lens.
Yeah, it's also like trying to be like. Every comedy movie needs to be a drama movie, or like every song needs to be a country song.
Like
it doesn't make any.
I get what you're saying, Dom. It's worth it to make sure that in our art we still reflect reality, so we don't escape it fully.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair to humans to say that we can't just have fun sometimes. Like, think about it.
Escapism.
You need your serious...
No, but then just reflect the fun reality. Like you said, country music. I'm not saying you can't make country music, but okay, maybe a guy that makes country music can make a song about riding a motorcycle, and then a rapper could also make a song about riding a motorcycle. It's two completely different things, but they're talking about some shit that's
what
real.
I'm saying
that's not like political, you know what I mean?
Saying
I never said it had to be political.
Okay,
I'm saying just socially.
Right,
like,
what I'm saying is not every comedian...
Like baseline reality.
Yeah.
Like.
But not every comedian needs to talk about social issues.
No, yeah.
Or have any sort of like... Yeah, she's
no. Hannah Gadsby's point is not just that every comedian has to talk about social issues. Hannah Gadsby's point is that every comedian has to defend marginalized people outwardly in their act and promote liberal values in their act constantly. Otherwise, they're part of the problem.
She sounds like a dumb bitch.
She is a dumb bitch.
Like that's like fascism. You
I mean,
can't just like control what people do in their art.
Like, not every movie can be a Spike Lee movie. Like, sometimes you have to watch Godzilla versus King Kong, and just shit your pants eating popcorn.
Yeah, it's so she's an idiot. Anyway, so that's who Hannah Gadsby is.
Yeah, that's a summary of her.
What do you ask for that?
Yeah,
that's pretty much.
You can look her up later. Her first album's called Nanette. I watched it. It's not like it's insufferable, but it's like it's not funny.
It's not funny.
But
it's not supposed to be funny, Tom.
Sorry.
And that's because you're just a privileged male, you don't understand the oppression that women have had to deal with for centuries. So you stand on this.
No, you know what it was? It had to do with sex.
Yeah.
You know, I just, when I got famous in comedy, I just kept having sex all the time. And then I decided maybe I should message some underage girls. It was all just the sex. Sorry, this is Crystalia. Crystalia, everybody. I respect him for that apology. But anyway, we're probably gonna have to wrap it up soon.
How long are we going for?
Pretty long. Dom,
we gotta get to this.
Dom, do you have anything to
promote?
First, do you have anything to plug, and then second, do you have anything to say?
My phone, and because it's running low on battery.
I'm sorry. Whatchamacallit? Upsplifted, check me out on Instagram. Gonna be posting more content. Just posted another comedy clip on YouTube at Upsplifted Inc. or something like that. I don't know. Someone else took the name Upsplifted. I don't know who did that, but we're gonna get him. And then
we're gonna have to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, no fags.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Fags. And then other than that, I was really happy to be on the show, and I'm super excited to jerk Tom and Jack off after.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to us.
And aren't you jerking off Steve Rocco Perello?
No, I'm sucking it.
Oh, yeah, you gotta suck Steve's dick. Yeah. Steve doesn't let you jerk him off.
No, and then you'll hear it on the trench coat. It'll be like...
Steve's like, listen, you're lucky I'm even letting somebody with legs have sex with me. I love you, Steve. Steve will be on this show in the future.
One day.
That's another thing I have to say. Did you have Will Romero in your basement?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yo, when you put that on paper, it's like, oh yeah, wait. It's like, yeah, we had Will Romero in my basement. Holy shit. No, I love you, Will.
I love Will too. I'm just like, I just can't picture him sitting down here.
Dude, that was one of the best episodes.
That was fun. Well,
not including this one, of course. But
we were also shit-faced drunk, but that was just a genuinely great episode.
Oh yeah, we were hammered. Yeah.
That was on Halloween.
Yes, it was.
He was
90. He was 91 days sober. I remember very clearly.
All right. Well,
anyway, so we're gonna head to the open mic. Thank you all for listening to a podcast, Orange. It's been fun. We will be a real podcast soon, Brandon, and get on Spotify. And yeah, just stay up to date with us. Anything else, anybody?
Keep on keeping on, and
this goes for everyone out here, and also Tom for not being on Spotify. You were the only thing